Yeah, the state of humanity, man, and the modern medicine network and whatnot, definitely should be collapsing soon, right? So,
Would be nice. Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing the way they've built everything so that it can't collapse. Hey, dude, like made it, strengthened it more and more over time, big pharma and whatnot, you know, snuffed out all the little modalities that were natural and native and original people's methods and to just call it modern medicine, allopathic medicine. But yeah, amazing.
yeah, just masking symptoms, right?
Yeah, probably the biggest trickery ever on the masses on in the history of the planet. Modern medicine. Right, dude? Like really. Yeah, and whatever you were gonna start saying there, dude.
Yeah,
Mask.
it's all a psyop, just to help mask symptoms, right? Manage and mask into the point where
Right.
you're forced to stay in a cycle of managing symptoms. That's why when you have allergies, you go take a Benadryl or go take a ibuprofen for your headache or whatever. And instead of understanding, what it, if I were to go take this ibuprofen, it were to actually eliminate the cause of the headache. That'd
Yeah.
be great. It's masking the response.
Hmm.
So why
Or,
are we backwards and not
or the
finding out what
communication.
can we do to transform whatever's causing the allergy or the headache, immune
Well,
system wise or whatever, and fix it at the root?
well, yeah, right. Um, Allergy. There's a whole topic. What the hell are allergies? But yeah, masking things, breaking communication between things so you don't, like painkillers say, like, okay, what do? They don't stop the pain, they stop the communication from, say, the injury or the ailment to the brain. It's all still that the injury is still there, which means theoretically, quote, the pain is still there. You know what I mean, dude? Like nothing addresses anything
The
there.
same it seems like with asthma too, like you're on steroids or inhalers for the rest of your life, but never overcome asthma. I overcame my asthma by simply staying away from fragrant
Right.
laundry detergent.
Yeah, that's a good way to, and now look at it all like that. Yeah, like they don't address asthma. They want you to keep whatever it is you have and just keep giving you this quote medication for it for the rest of your life, right? But never addressed, right, dude? Because
Yep.
it's not being
Right.
addressed on a cellular level, right? It's all just like, say, surfacey, like asthma or an allergy or something. I would say would be like some type of a lack in a diet, right? Food is medicine, you know, Hippocrates. So, right, everything corrected just with the right nutrition that you're lacking, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, right? But no, you know, those are called dietitians. Those should be called the doc. There you go. The dietitians used to be the doctors because that's what Hippocrates basically was. Really, if you think about it, right? Let food be thy medicine. Let medicine be thy food. Right? Clearly saying, in my opinion, I word it: let food sustain you daily, and when you're sick, let the extractions from food cure you. Right? Because he's saying it those two different ways that are flipped around. Right, dude? Biochemistry.
Yep, that's where biochemistry comes in, and you heal on a cellular level,
You're
right? And the whole
addressing,
point of biochemistry and minerals are when you consume them, in minute form, it's able to penetrate into the mucus ducts of the body and actually heal on a cellular level rather than just, arming poison with poison or
And also,
trying to eliminate a stimulus response. It's actually curing the part of the body that's in ailment due to deficiency itself.
well, yeah, and if you want to get like point against point, allopathic modern medicine and all the, so-called treatments are all synthetics and poisons and not any constituent naturally of anything in the human body. So all of those medications force the cell, body, everything in it, organs, systems, to force the cell unnaturally, right? And so in biochemistry, naturally, with those 12 minerals, no cell is forced upon because every cell has all the same functions as us. Every cell is like a mini person, right? But they all just do certain duties, So they have a mind of their own. Each cell selects what they need from the bloodstream, right? So, that's biochemistry, is that we know the cells select, nothing is forced upon because it's a natural constituents already present in the bloodstream, and we're just addressing deficiencies in certain ones. Certain ones are low in your blood. That's it. And it's only them 12. Right, dude? You know this, heard me rattle on that stuff
Yeah,
lots,
for
but
sure. And yeah, and building from
it's
the foundation stone, the stone that the builder refused, the mineral, right? It's the when the body's burned to ashes, what is left are the 12 constituents, the 12 mineral salts, right, which are found in food. But the state of the water today, right, usually it's found in water
right.
and in the food that we eat. But now the crops are low in minerals, and the water we drink has no minerals in it. And this is what leads to dental deterioration, mind deterioration, skeletal deterioration. Just being as we're not getting an ample supply of these minerals.
Yes, sir. Totally, dude. There are no minerals around today. You know, everyone needs to do them. Yeah. Well, over and over again. Yeah, you said it right there, dude. Uh, water. Yeah, like I always say, it's like, where in ancient times would you get these minerals if the 12 minerals are all from rock, stone, earth, dirt? Okay, creeks and streams, just ground down super fine. Put your hands, dip them down, grab a thing, 2-hand cup or whatever of water, and you just doused yourself, dude, with all the minerals. Right? Today,
Yeah,
there's
when I
no.
drink from a spring well, I always feel alive. If I, as opposed to drinking tap water, I just drink. I feel like an absence of like vivifying. But
Okay,
if I'm drinking from the spring water from a
yeah,
well, I feel
me.
alive.
Yeah, dude, when I lived in BC for like 12 years, and my house was plumbed to a year-round creek coming down the mountains from a glacier. So I drank, bathed, showered, uh, cooked in purest groundwater. And, you know, I've told you this numerous times, dude, that like when I lived in BC, my thinking, everything ascended, dude. Sitting in the forest in nature, alone, just in contemplation, going so deep and clearly focused into topics, dude. And then when I moved back to Calgary, which is in a city, if anyone hears this, then I'm drinking city water and trying to figure out filters because it smells like a swimming pool. So, and then yeah, like you also touched on there, the state of food, man. There's no, but in the old studies, dude, in the books from like cellular histology, pathology, all those greats, they even, talk about the 12 minerals in the form that they're in borrowed from homeopathy, the trituration process, where they're 3 times, 6 times, 12 times, which is the potency that was borrowed from Dr. Schwabe, which is the same as homeopathic tablets are made in the lactose forms. He states himself and all the other greats in these cellular fields that Schussler studied, that the particles are ground down finer if you do these in the mineral form than found in food or any other sources, right? So as far as you mentioned membrane, like cellular membrane, that's why, it's written in a literature that, these, in that format, in that process, these particles can penetrate a clogged or taxed even cellular membrane. See, there's nothing in modern medicine that's made to do, I don't believe, to do that can even do that. If it does, it's forcing its way in, right? It's
Yeah, as it's
crazy.
the minute dose, right? The whole key is that it's so minute that it can enter the cell,
Yeah, and
healing from
that's
the cellular level rather than from top down, it's bottom up, or healing from within out.
yeah, dude. That's that trituration process is like 1 million parts lactose to 1 part mineral, then ground down, then mixed again, then mixed again, then mixed again, however many times, right? If you research the it's called
Yeah,
trituration
it's
process.
like the opposite of tropical, opposite of topical, right?
Yeah, what's really crazy about it is the part of the mineral becomes less in the tablet, but the less there is, the more potent it becomes. Right, dude? As it's ground down, then mixed again with lactose, then ground down, then mixed again, right? Anyway, that's that. Food, water, yeah. You, so that it's all one circle, right? And I'm not going to try to do the whole circle or whatever, but it's state of food and today's water equals medical system equals, right? It's all this chain that's gonna be a circle with so many divisions, just like everything, right, dude? A
Yeah, I think
wheel
the
chart.
first step to my,
But
journey was switching from fluoridated water to
all
natural
creates,
spring water.
right. It's going to be a circle that all creates each other, is what I mean, though. The
Yep.
state of food, water, creates bad health. Then add in fast food, this and that, obesity crisis, blah, 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 equals mental health crisis, blah, 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 psychotropic medication industry, blah, blah, blah. Dude, it all feeds everything. But yeah, anyway, yeah, and the start of it was like, what? Food, water, and then introduce stress. The state of the mind reflects how the health, the physical of the person is going to be. So, okay, give out credit cards, debt. Everyone's stressed 24 hours a day, just sicker than hell, dude. All creating and feeding the medical world, right? And keeping everyone on it, on everything, right, dude?
Yep. Yep,
One
for
ladder,
sure.
not even a circle, a ladder. What's at the top? What's at the bottom?
Yep, and also the just the lack of energy, the lethargy. Everyone is dependent on caffeine. Everyone's dependent on various stimulants
Drinks.
uh,
Yeah,
due to this mineral deficiency.
totally, dude. Yeah, trying to like replenish. They're thinking they're replenishing something that they're lacking, and it's all just false. And all these energy drinks and whatnot. It's just like, holy fuck. I read some labels on some of these things and affected. And that's marketing. It's everything. Like I was saying, everything leads to something. That's all, the way things are marketed. Oh, if you're low on energy, grab these Monster and all these other drinks or whatever, right, dude? No, look on the label. What are they? Caffeine and sugar. Oh, yeah, pure carb. 70 grams. One drink was. I read Buddy's label at work.
Yeah, and you're
Creeping out
just
on.
pulling from your future reserve of energy.
Yeah, I don't know, right? Like, huh. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, the whole eating habit thing, right? I don't know. 3 meals a day, biggest meal should be breakfast, all that thing, the meat charts, all of that, original meat and dairy charts that we all learned in school from since the 1940s. Those were written by farmers, not nutritionalists. Like, I don't it's just they did. Food and water seems to be like the weirdest,
Yeah,
creepiest
it's the
topic.
main attack, right? It's the number one weapon you can use to enslave a society, right? Poison the food, poison the water. But right
Sure.
now, I've noticed as we're in the age of Aquarius, man, is the attack on the air, right?
Yeah.
I live in one of the most polluted cities on the map, and
Mm.
there's not to mention all the chemtrails and stuff, but yeah, it's everywhere. So we just have to arm ourselves. So I actually like the Taoist perspective on this. Just make sure you're charging your mind filled, your energy filled, and taking of course, eating your minerals and making sure you're supplementing and then
Right.
you can actually form a shield against all this, right? You actually have to put in a little
Yeah.
bit extra work to arm yourself against all this around us, you know.
Well, excuse me. Oh well. Vaping it. Yeah, that's right. I vape. Um, yeah, I don't know, dude. The thing would be is to find the basis of whatever that type of thinking, what it actually does scientifically, sort of, kind of, and then you could cross-reference it to other. What is it you're talking? Sort of like meditation, eh? Right?
Just being able to match the frequencies, right, that are around us, and if there's chemtrails in the air, then you have to purify. So you got to
Okay.
practice. Yeah.
Mm.
If there's no minerals in the water, you have to take more than you need to.
Right. Yeah. Well.
You have to take more steps to reverse the damage, right? Because you're not
Yeah.
breathing fresh air, you're not drinking the best water. Well, actually, I try to drink the best water because and we all have choices, right? Like I have access to a water well,
Okay. Yeah.
and I always get
Yep.
spring water. And
Right. But yeah, if you go look at tests of, like, there's like laboratories that have tested like every brand of bottled water out there. They all contain, huge numbers of various that none of them are any good.
yeah, see, water is just a real hard. That's why probably the best source of water is fruit, especially for its molecular cellular structure, which is more easily absorbed by the body.
Dude, remember like maybe a couple few summers ago, and all I was drinking for water was buying watermelons?
Yep.
Dude, right? I got so pissed off with water, dude, because, like I said, I lived in BC, man, and like when you turn on any tap in the house and put glass under there and turn it on, fill the glass, turn it off, and hold the glass up, man. Crystal fucking clear, gorgeous water, not a single smell, nice little light, mossy, like, but just like barely, you know, like real water. I know what real water smells and tastes like. Like I drank it for a decade out of the taps, right, dude? Like, and yeah, when I moved back to Calgary, I was thirsty for like 2 years. I couldn't quench my thirst. I was just like, oh my God. There's no water anywhere. So what is it like, dude? Yeah, water and food. Like you say, use it as a weapon. The two most, right? Water, food,
And
fire.
air.
Okay, sure. Air's already there. Yeah, you're right. But like caveman, what do you need? Water, food, fire.
Mm.
Shelter, but you say you can't even, you're still in caves, say. So yeah, cave, of course. You're going to find somewhere that's carved out
So
already.
energy.
Right? Sure, food and water, right? Hunter gatherer, caveman. What was I getting at there? I can't remember. But uh,
It's going back to our natural instincts, right? Like trying
in
to
the
get natural as possible. You can breathe in minerals. If you practice the correct breathing methods,
there's
you can
mineral,
extract minerals from the oxygen in the ether.
yeah, there's minerals in the air. That's
Yep.
even stated in biochemistry, dude. Yups.
So it comes in through the lungs.
Amazing, because yeah, you want to think about deep shit like that, dude. Is like the planet, like all of the shit we're made from is all from bombardments that hit our planet. They weren't here on Earth. There's certain elements, right, dude? Like there's science shows you can watch on this stuff. New, really good current ones. I've watched that one I gave you, dude. Ones like that one. But tell how they say we're made from stardust and whatnot. Yeah, Earth was in a asteroid storm for 100 million years. Yeah, 100 million years. Earth was in an asteroid storm, so that's where that's in my opinion. Then, dude, that's where we collected everything, right? All the minerals, all the particles. Like, what the fuck?
I think the minerals are just like the, you know,
Uh,
condensation of spirit into matter starts in the mineral kingdom. So just on the cycle of life down, has to start with that structured foundation, the cube. So something solid. So that's where you get all these various different mineral elementals and
yeah,
forms our carbon based structure and allows us to live in the physical modality until
yeah,
we're able to transcend it. So,
yeah. Like three elements from the cosmos. Um, yeah. Anyway, that side of everything is fucking wild, dude.
yeah. But yeah, modern medicine, modern man. What do we do? Um,
Yeah,
essentially, feel
mo-
like
modern steel man.
purifying your water, breathing correctly, just like you did when you were a baby from the base of the
Right.
spine naturally, and then to make sure that you're getting a good amount of sunlight. Especially if you're in a hemisphere that is cold 4 or 6 months out of the year. Got to make sure that you're getting some sun on your eyelids and at least behind the back of your knees or something because that solar ray is definitely going to help you re-energize your etheric body, right? Minerals and water help replenish your physical body, but you also have to replenish your energetic body. So I feel like there's also an attack on the energy body.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because we're electromagnetic, we're carbon-based beings, but we're also electromagnetic.
Right.
Right. So even if we got our structure down correct, or maybe if the mineral composition is corrected in the physical body, it produces the correct conduit for that electromagnetism to come in full force.
Yeah, what is
So
it
if the
that
mineral composition's corrupted or deficient, then we can't hold a charge.
yeah, I don't think maybe what we get what I don't think maybe what we quote get from the sun is necessarily for the material body myself.
Yeah, I think it's more the energetic body, but I don't think we can be a good conduit for those electric rays or electromagnetism if our physical body is
Uh,
deficient.
I mean, it hits our skin, it makes our skin turn red. So talk to people my age, dude, and we're all saying, like, yeah, you notice, like, when you're out in the sun now, or at least I've been saying for about 20 years, 25 years, you notice now the sun, you don't just feel it on the surface of your skin, you can feel it like penetrating your skin now. And everyone's like, yeah, yeah, that's how it feels. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
what's up with that? Sun getting more intense? I don't know, dude. Like they say, like a sun has a lifespan, right? So is ours been at its peak, which would be its, I mean, its hottest, say, going
I
by
think it's just
temperature?
amping up the frequency because, the physical realm is ascending. It's burning up all the negative shit.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Um, no, I just mean like literally, you can feel that it's different and hotter. So that tells me its temperature, maybe like, is it really global warming and this and that, or the hole in the ozone,
Could be a
or
natural cycle.
or is the temperature of the sun going up? We don't know if it's reached its peak of temperature, heat, hotness, and it's going down, or is it still climbing, then peak, then it will start to die, right? We don't know which side of that peak it's on, or if we do, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be a cycle. But I don't think us living here is long enough to see. I don't know, dude. Do you? Do you think a few hundred years in modern records or whatever being kept, however many hundred years, do you think that's enough time to see a change in anything above us, or that
Mm,
or that we're standing on that's billions of years old? Like that's like not even like could you compare it to your life? One one zillionth of a millisecond. um, yeah, look at it like a scale. Our lifetime on the age of this planet is the same as like zillionth of a millisecond of our 90-year lifetime. I don't know.
yeah, man, it's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, and I think just, electrifying the brain's important, and make sure that
I don't know.
basically your energies are rising up, make sure that your cerebral spinal fluids are rising upward, and that seems to create an electrical response in the pineal gland, which stimulates correct hormonal function so that your sleep cycles are corrected, right? Another thing that's under attack is sleep, the whole hustle culture too, right? Make sure waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. and all of this energy exhaustion methods,
Ugh.
right? When
Yeah.
you should conserve your energy as much as you can and sleep and rest as needed, and that it's okay to rest. You have to
Hmm.
have your rest so you can have your rise. There is no rise without rest.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, man. And you hear certain people, they're like, no, I get up at like 1 in the morning and I do some of my work till like 4 in the morning. I find that everything, all the vibe and everything is way calmer when everyone is sleeping, right, dude? Like that whole energy is turned off. And it's like, hey, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm way more focused, blah, blah, blah. I can get more done, this and that. I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's
It's
true.
interesting.
And it doesn't matter if you like working at night or if you like to whenever your brain functions best, as long as you're recuperating, right? And regenerating that. And a lot of the 9 to 5 cycles and just work, matrix cycles basically, Most
Yeah.
people go to bed late. They want to spend time with their family. They stay up late and end up having to wake up early regardless, right? And they just continue until they become deteriorated.
Yeah, dude, lack of sleep. And yeah, lack of sleep is huge, right? Went through that. I don't know, man. It's weird. Like if you think about like fight or flight, run from the tiger, cellular state, right? Um, oh, what was I gonna say about that? Like,
It just puts you in a fight or flight constantly if you don't have enough sleep.
yeah,
Even just 2 hours, right? 6 hours of sleep is not enough.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the case I was going on with had going on with the noisy neighbors, dude, is that when you do lay down to get to sleep, your auditory sensory system or whatever, it doesn't shut down. So that's why it's like, oh, I can't get to sleep. I can't get to sleep. It's because your ears are still like super tuned into hearing any little thing because you're used to all this when it's interrupted sound that's not part of your environment, right? Like the whole medical side of what lack of sleep can do to you. So then it becomes hard to sleep, right? Because your auditory system isn't shutting down. It's on like red alert, right? So if you think about like cavemen, dude, it would be the same as them, you know, going to bed in the cave at night, going to sleep, and always having to be listening. It's like the saying, sleep with one eye open. It'd be like sleep with one ear open. Right?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Your
Just
mental,
fully, always the survival, the nervous system constantly going, secreting adrenaline, and
but
then
see,
essentially just accelerating the aging process.
yeah, exactly. Like us, that's what we do, modern times, right? But they wouldn't be going to sleep at night and having those types. They would be going to bed at night calm because
Yep.
they'd have a fire outside of the cave, which would ward off any type of animals. They knew pretty much, you know, there's
And
no,
darkness, right? They would sleep in darkness. Only the natural light from the moon and the stars
yeah,
are what you're supposed to receive. And then you can secrete enough melatonin and
yeah,
activate the pineal gland, essentially.
yeah, they wouldn't be going to bed worried about shit, right? They'd be, so that's in the fight or flight state of the cell in everyone. And then the only other state of your cell is harmony. And that's when you're healthy and your immune system is working top notch, right? When you keep your cells in harmonious state, which is really all just mental. So it's mind, brain first, right? They'd be going to bed calm because if they weren't, they'd be in sick state all the time. And they weren't. They were natural people, just like we still have natural people like that today in parts of the world, right? But you look at us, we're going to bed worried about this or that. So it's not today's modern man fight or flight, quote, run from the saber-toothed tiger is bills, life, and all that type of worryment. So we go to bed with ourselves in fight or flight. And when your cells are in fight or flight, they have to steal from the other half, which is that harmonious side and all the positive and whatnot stuff, which includes, your immune system and this and that. So when we're in worry and stress, scientifically, that's why, right? You're wide open to catch anything, right? So that's Dr. Bruce Lipton, right, dude? You know, fight or flight, run from the tiger, the two states.
Yeah, and you can overcome the physical, right? Neuroplasticity.
Okay.
The essential mind over matter, right? That's like proven mind over matter.
Yeah, I guess maybe so, kind of, right, dude? But yeah, whatever state your mind is triggers which part of those two things the cell is going to be on. It's going to be on one side or the other, right? You want to be ready to run from the tiger. You know, you're downtown, some guy pulls a knife, you want to flick your cells to fucking fight or flight and steal all that energy and whatnot from the harmonious side of the cells and say, let's get the fuck out of here, run away, get 2 blocks away, click. Whew. Boom. Right, dude. That's the caveman running from the that's running from the tiger. I don't know. That shit's pretty interesting. His work.
Yeah, for sure. And just being in survival mode, you can't rise up past the lower central nervous system. You always be in the fight or flight or the automatic system, and you won't be able to be fully conscious in the higher centers, right? Your energy will be trapped in the lower
Yeah.
shelter, food, survival, run, rather
Which,
than, universal love, compassion, and then even practicing mental arts.
yeah, sure. Yeah, dude, which is exactly, yeah, here's the way to, it's like, in fight or flight mode, that's all subconscious automatic pilot, right? So yeah, and which is totally proves it because then in the harmonious side, that's conscious, aware, present, right? But we're always in that subconscious state. Autopilot. I always look at what original man was like too, right? Instinct, gut feeling, autopilot, subconscious. You don't have to know what to do, right, dude? Just like they didn't. Saber-toothed tiger comes around, fuck. You're hucking spears and shooing women and children away for right, like right away. I don't know where I'm getting at, but that comparison, dude. Dr. Lipton's work made me think lots of deep things, in that sort of directions, dude. Smart guy.
Yeah.
World's
Yeah,
leading
I
developer.
like how it overcomes the paradigm that, you're just stuck with your lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Lipton's his genetic determinism that he proved is false, that we're all taught, oh, it's you, your parents had this, your grandparents, blah, blah, blah. Genes, genes, genes. When Lipton was the one that was in like 1969 when he did that 3 petri dish experiment. And anyway, he proved that genetic determinism is false. Right, dude? Like, that's wow. But what a thing to say to people, dude. Like, with everything that we've just said or react about in the last little bit, now, okay, you're a doctor, and now you don't have any answers for anything. You haven't told one person why or how they've gotten cancer. And now we're down to like fetal cancer, not even out of the womb yet. But what was I talking about before that, dude? Whoops. Um, doctor,
Just that they don't know what's going on.
they don't know what's going on. Yeah, I lost track of what I was going to say there.
No, we're just gonna edit that out at 38. No worries. Um, but yeah, man, the essential steps to inner transformation and getting back into not being part of the modern state of humanity is to just take responsibility, make sure that you're getting a clean source of water that is mineralized, make sure that you are breathing correctly, not in anxiety mode, breathing from the chest, but breathing fully. And then also make sure that you are supplementing those minerals through the cell salts as well.
Mhm.
And making sure that you're getting proper amounts and just take all 12, right? There you can get all 12 cell salts. You can look them up online. There's various sources. You can check the link in the description as well. Various different ways to utilize them or get them anywhere basically. But the reason why we have to supplement them now is because the water's absent of minerals, the soil's absent of minerals, and now that's the best place to at least make sure you're getting them in, and they are natural.
Yeah, totally do. Even in the old literature in biochemistry and cellular stuff, dude, they're talk about vitamins, supplements and whatnot that we take, and up to today that they really don't do anything. And number one is the size of the particles.
Right. Yep. They're too big. They
They
just
can't
go into the bloodstream.
They can't. Yeah, and so because I have all those books, dude, and I've read them and read everyone that Schussler read and all Rudolph Virchow stuff. It's like, yeah, okay. So I don't think vitamins or minerals or any of those big things. No, you don't get anything go through the bloodstream because number one, of course, nothing. They're too big of a particle to be absorbed by a cell membrane, but probably also by a stomach mucous membrane into the bloodstream. So that's why, with the 12 minerals that are in lactose form, which is the same as homeopathic pills, but the two different sciences, they're not the same. But that's why you can just put them under your tongue, dude, and they're in the bloodstream within 10 minutes in the literature, right? Absorbed into the bloodstream under the
Yep. Through the mucus ducts.
oral mucous membrane, right, dude? So, like, it's just proof. Like, that's the whole thing is like biochemistry and the 12 minerals. Like, once you learn everything, like, it proves itself, right? Like,
Yep. And for our viewers, there's each mineral corresponds to a system of the body. So you have the 12 basic minerals, and they are, for example, the cerebral spinal system would be potassium phosphate, for example. And then the other 11 systems correspond to the other 11 minerals.
they're called the 12 building blocks. You mentioned earlier, dude, but yeah, in cremation, which was the breakthrough experiment of Dr. Schussler, the founder, when he cremated human remains, all that remained in the ashes were the 12 minerals, right? So from rock, stone, earth, fire can't, you know, same as a
Yeah, I remember
forest
the
fire.
first time I took Bio 12, all 12 minerals. I
Yeah,
said to myself, "Wow, this is what," because I was what 17, and I remember saying to myself, "Wow, this is what it's like to feel normal."
yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember when I first started taking Bio 12, all 12 in one also was, yeah, like joints felt lubricant, like I felt like a total machine. Joints felt lubed, all my systems felt great, strong. Anything in my body, organ, or system, I thought about it. I could picture it and feel it like
Thriving.
running 100%, right,
Yep.
dude?
Yep. I
When you're
just felt
doing,
euphoric almost.
yeah. And like, you know what, all my writings and stuff like that from the old websites and like, yeah, dude, like, could you imagine? And like, this is the whole thing was like, well, there was so many ascended beings in the ancient times. And I'm like, yeah, they had the 12 minerals. They had it in food and they had pure water. and their brains were getting that, like it's not just physical, it's everything physical and everything mental. The 12 minerals take care of, right, dude? So the
Yeah, I think
ancient,
George Carey said that potassium phosphate had the highest electric charge of any other mineral.
right? Yeah, interesting. You know, so they were all just getting their 12 building blocks, dude. Totally always topped up on all 12 minerals in the bloodstream. The bloodstream, the liquid organ, right? George Carey. But that's what I say. I'm like, no, man, these people weren't fucking, because we'll never know. I lived in BC, so I know. So I was drinking that pure groundwater and it plumbed through the whole house with a gravity feed water system year round off of the creek. And we were growing and eating organic food, dude. That's why in BC I was like walking around with like, a binder with a pen and paper all the time because it's like, oh, fuck, here comes some thoughts. Start writing them down, getting these, and sitting outside in the forest, dude, in the mountains, on the lake all the time, and, you know, getting like downloads, being able to go into deep contemplation and thought, sitting in the trees, knowing you're part of the trees, you're not a visitor. The forest, knowing that, go, that's how I think it works, and that's probably, I'm guessing, how natives think that, you know, they know that they're part of the forest. They're not a visitor like us, like us white men. We go camping and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I've just come to see this for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we go camping or hiking and we're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, we have camping clothes, camping gear. You have to get all this new stuff, right? But no, the forest won't give you any, you can go sit in the forest, and when you sit in the forest and you have the mindset, I'm from here and I'm part of this, the forest is like, oh, cool, man. Let this guy have let's let him have ultra wide open thoughts today. Wham. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Got to write all this down. The universe knows. When you're part of that. You're no visitor.
Yeah, sometimes, right, Bruce Lipton said sometimes you just got to change your environment.
Yeah,
But
that's
also if you don't change your beliefs, sometimes it'll follow you, but changing your environment can definitely help.
okay, dude, you're gonna make me go deeper with the Lipton. Okay. The basis of his work, his 3 petri dish experiment in, I think it was 1969, was he had one petri dish and he put in cells and let them multiply into millions of cells of the identically the same cells in one dish. Then he took of the 3, he took dish number 1 and he changed the medium in the dish, also known as environment, and he put those cells into there and they turned into like bone cells. Then he took dish number 2 and he changed the medium, also known as environment, and he put those identical ones into there and they turned into blood cells. And then he did, okay, dude. So he changed the medium, the environment in 3 dishes, and those all identically the same cells changed. So when you just like look at everything like scales, okay, you're built of whatever, 8 trillion cells. So now look at you as just one cell on a planetary body. Then, okay, what was I saying there about, fuck, I lost track again too. Because I gotta eat something here, but, what was I saying again, dude?
The Bruce Lipton Petri dish.
Oh yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, okay, the petri dish experiment. Yeah, sorry, because you said what triggered it was about just change
Yeah,
your
changing
environment.
your environment can change it, as within, so without, right? The law of correspondence.
Right. So yeah, exactly. That's what scientifically on the smallest level, being cellular, what he showed and proved in science. And then if you look at yourself as just being one cell, so that represents, okay, you change your environment, which he always says in a manner of that you change the way you perceive your environment. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, it'll always only this, only that, blah, blah, blah. I'll never, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's your environment. It's your perception of your environment,
Yep, change your paradigm.
how you feel about your life. So yeah, right away, if you change that, call your environment your petri dish. You're just that one little cell, right? So if you change, yeah, your outlook, your perception,
And
then
modern man, like their modern state of humanity is they want to roll. We like to roll around in our own mud, right?
well,
Instead of like changing our paradigms, we like to roll around in victimhood and point the finger, and we actually become addicted to
well,
some of
what
these states.
Yeah, and well, what he proved there, dude, is that you are not his word. This is his wording: is you're not a victim of your genes like you've been taught. You're a master of your genes because you can change your genes daily by how you perceive your life and yourself. So again, everything again about health. If I was going to say to anyone about health, yeah, the 12 cell salts and whatnot, but first, mental, right? That's all of Lipton's work scientifically proves that. And even if you look at or not say, but Dr. Schussler's work, his very first top statement, which to me is his golden rule, I always call it in my writings, is that cell salts work from the top down and the inside out, secondly. So even Schussler is saying the mind has to be well first. So in health, the brain, man, the stress, right? Because it's Lipton's work, it's Schussler's, it's cellular histology, pathology, dude, right? The state of the mind mentally reflects lower to how the body, to mirror your health as a mirror of your mental.
And also, once you start repairing the mineral deficiencies, you'll actually have a brighter, more positive outlook.
Yep.
You'll feel harmoniously better.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You know yourself if you've done the all 12 in ones, like, yeah, your body doesn't just start feeling good, like your brain and your thoughts start feeling good also. You do feel it mentally on the 12 in one minerals, right, dude? It's not just physical.
Oh
You're
yeah,
out.
totally.
Yeah, you start to be, over a few weeks, you start to become more positive, this and that, right, bud? It's the
Yeah, man,
real,
I was feeling euphoric when I first,
right?
had my first encounter with Bioplasma 12. Just taking all 12 after reading the work of George Carey and Schussler, and also, following your research that you've
Hmm,
accumulated. Cell salts changed my life. Essentially.
me too. And you know what? And look at it like this, strip it all down and say, all I did was start taking the 12 things that my body is already comprised, but the things that everything of my body is already comprised of it, and it even introduce anything new, anything foreign, anything synthetic, anything poisonous. And so you just proved, and so did I, that when how much wickedly better I felt in any area or direction, mentally or physically, dude. Look how much we were lacking the 12 minerals. We just proved it's not in food and water. And you were, you know what I mean? You're raised eating good enough food and this and that.
Yeah,
You,
but not enough to feel normal. You can.
we
Just
also
like the fact that they even try to hide the minerals, right? I bet a lot of these, regular medications people are using are just mimicking the minerals. And not only that, the water, for example, right? They put sodium fluoride in the water, which is a neurotoxin, when they should be putting calcium fluoride,
I
which
know.
is a natural form of fluoride, which will repair your teeth. Why are they not putting calcium fluoride in the water?
I know. And fluoride is can be spelt with a OU or UO. also, right? Oh, dude, get in.
Interesting.
Dude, I studied the whole fluoride water programs that started in the 1940s and where the so-called quote fluoride comes from. Right. Like that's a whole nasty like psychiatry, it's one of them kind of topics, dude. It's fucking horrendous. You know, like that's what is it called again? It's hydrofluoro acylate hydrofluoro.
Fluoride shuts down the imagination and creates docility.
Yeah, it destroys the teeth. Dude, if you look at like the situation of fluoride in toothpaste, on every tube of toothpaste, it says if your kid swallows this, called the poison center. Dude, but your kid's already using the toothpaste in its mouth for like, say, 2 to 5 minutes, brushing its teeth, and the medical world knows damn well about the fucking oral mucous membrane that we talked about under the tongue, and know damn well that there's so much fluoride already being absorbed in while any person's brushing their teeth already, dude. I know this.
Yeah, and just to make a side comment, I recommend everyone to switch to using a bamboo toothbrush or a non-BPA, just because the
Well,
plastic filings and toothbrushes also produce plastics.
sure, everything. Yeah, sure. And please, and no fluoride, everyone. Like, please, right? They say that fluoride, it's the worst thing out of everything that you could put in a human body. That fluoride treatment, dude, that fluoride, program that started like in the 40s or 50s, it's hydrofluoroacylicic acid, I think is the full real name of what it is. And they started calling it fluoride. It is scraped from the inside walls of chimneys from liquid fertilizer plants. And it's illegal to stockpile or bury that shit anywhere on the planet. So they introduced this program like around the world, dude, to start letting the people drink her up. Check it out yourselves.
Yeah,
And
absolutely horrific.
that's where it came from. That's not my feelings or that's what it is. Right. And yeah, dude, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it
Like,
shuts down creativity and imagination, right? People aren't creative anymore. People don't use their imagination.
yeah, there's,
People are not masters of their imagination anymore, or able to visualize or manifest as they want. Their
dude, it's,
mind, they live in a mind of like an inner foggy cloud.
well, you just said it all, dude. Foggy. Yeah. Okay. It's the zombie drug, dude. It calcifies the pineal gland. There's science about that, right? Yeah. Fluoride calcifies the pineal gland. Living in the land of the dead, the land of the living dead.
Yep, the land of the living dead, as Alvin Boy Kuhn said, this physical world is actually a state of slowed down. We're we're slowed down to the point of we're numb, right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it's all just because of that, right? That
Yep,
fucking,
that's our lantern to see.
yeah. It's, right now it's a rock, it's a stone out there, dude.
You know what else helps with the pineal gland, activating the pineal gland and decalcifying it, is iodine.
Okay. Yeah, well, now you're going back into like 1800s thinking. You start pulling out all those weird reviews in school, iodine in school science. No, just playing around, dude. But, you know, you look at the evolution. Oh, sorry, now you got me thinking of like medicine again. Like you look at the evolution of using different treatments like that, dude. The whole history of medicine is unreal. surgeries, medicine, and then the whole pharmacy side of it, I guess, right? Like uh, surgeries were being done before anesthesia was introduced on the planet. The way everything went, dude, it was like, whoa, right? Like surgeries were a spectacle that rich people would pay to watch. And there was no anesthesia, dude, right? Then you go back into like alcohol and up into like the World War or Army and whatnot, where alcohol would be poured on a wound and then swig a bunch back. Right, dude? Like alcohol being a first painkiller or actually medical use liquid, right?
Yeah, and they were even using like dentists used to give out cocaine, you know?
Yeah, wild, dude. But like, I always think, okay, if surgery came first, then anesthesia. Like, I remember when I was like, just like researching all that shit, dude, you know, and there was one doctor on the planet, you can research him, he was worldwide known because he could do an amputation in under a minute, an arm or a leg, right? Because there was no anesthesia, dude. That's why if people were dying left, right, and center. They're like, no way, I'm not getting surgery. So people were, you know, diseases, all this shit going on, right? Um, yeah, and then and no types of painkiller. And then okay, yeah, and that was my thought. Okay, but there was sort of, you could think there was alcohol even in those times of early surgery days. I bet you there was alcohol, and that guy would be just chugging that bottle back. And then they would be using it for cleaning the area and whatnot, right? So alcohol. So I have this theory, dude, that I believe that alcohol was the first medicine, and it was medicinal and used by doctors and surgeons and whatever else is. So it would be the first abused drug, really, on the planet, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. And everyone was drinking before we had, water was dirty in America. People were drinking beer all day.
Just like pills now today are abused in medicine. Medicine always goes to the street and gets abused, right? And I think the first one was alcohol. But anyway, yeah, sorry, what did you say again there, dude? Just in a nutshell.
I was just saying that, people were just drinking coffee and beer because the water was polluted and shit like
Right.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude, like yeah, I was just watching actually a few nights ago. It adds to this also. The I like re well, I've already researched the hot sort of like the hygiene records of like the Western world. So like if you're on Google and you type in like Wild West hygiene, you can learn how like before toilets, before everything, dude, like razors, guys had huge beards that were infested with lice and the fucking one set of clothes, and there was nowhere to shower, no shower, bath, nothing over the whole winter. Probably didn't even able to wash their clothes. Well, so there no outhouses, so you got flies, you got them spreading diseases. The whole history of like the big like medical diseases that the planet sort of went through, dude, are all based in linked, and so like it's like the syncretism, right, dude, in accordance to how our hygiene records went, right, and yeah, it's just all interesting, dude.
Yeah, man, that's another thing too. Like with the air clogging our pores, like our pores, the ancient Taoists and Qigong taught pore breathing, right? You can breathe in through your pores, by concentrating breathing into your central spine from a 360-degree angle and breathing in. But you can't do that if your pores are blocked,
Right.
right? Our
Yeah.
whole body's a breathing organism.
Sure. That kind of makes sense. I kind of like it. Yeah. I mean, your pores can be open. What do they do? Oh, yeah. Hot water opens your pores and cold water closes them. Right. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Okay, now you fuck, dude. Like every word I hear, I go into medicine or allopathic medicine and slamming it. Good old modern medicine, like pores, yeah, skin creams, ointments, they like to call them. In today's medical world, so many different creams, um, you know, prescriptions written for that kind of stuff, which block the pores, which force things back down to cause more harm to whatever the root is. Modern medicine again, dude, just like treating one final expression, one one exterior, one exterior final expression of an inner issue. Right? They treat the end of the line, right, dude? That's my gripe. I say that all the time. Where biochemistry treats the root, which is cellular. You can't treat at any smaller form. They don't have anything to do with treating at cells,
And
cellular level.
when the body's alchemically perfected and minerally complete, right, the body itself becomes a philosopher's stone and is able to manifest the mental prowess to its full potential at that point. Before, right, if
Yeah,
you're low on certain minerals, you can't focus, you can't think, or you're exhausted, or your digestion's messed up, or your
yeah,
joints are messed up. But when everything is fully perfected, then you're fully at peace, you're at one.
yeah. Yeah, like I think like your brain, I think is like a chemical factory. You know what I mean? Like we're like a chemical factory, but we still need our fuel, for the factory,
And don't
like
forget that the body goes into deficits, right? If one part is deficit, it'll use another part to compensate for it, even. It'll pull from other sources.
right. Yeah, that's why you don't want to be deficit, like you said, or deficient, like we say, right? Yeah, deficient. Yeah, exactly, dude. Because, like in cellular literature says, like every cell has every function. So every cell is like a mini person, but each cells are dedicated functions, right? So it's interesting. It's like, okay, well, then why does science say there's these cells, those cells, right? Okay, and maybe there are some different type, whatever. I don't care to get that deep with knowing about cells. You know what I mean, dude? But um, yeah. So, yeah, to what you said there, yeah, they start to, you know, well, just stay on cells. That's a whole problem. Okay, speaking of cells, dude, and deficiencies and the 12 minerals topping up those deficiencies and all that stuff. So, if the cells that are responsible for ridding dead cells, if the minerals become depleted that supply those cells that are in charge of that, then okay, because millions of cells or billions, whatever, die off a day, or I guess millions, and then they're replaced. If they're not rid of, dead cells accumulate and pool in joints, regions, blah, blah, blahs, this and that, dude, and create problems, right? So, that's to me, that's the important one is making sure that we're ready because those are what create toxins and all these other kinds of things too, dude. Diseases, the accumulation of dead cells is like a huge thing. So, I don't know, what would that be? Number 12, right away, you want to think, Cilicia, right, dude? But, whatever, research it. But That's a big one. So what? I don't hear anything, dude.
Oh, I was talking. My bad. What the heck?
Shit, were you? Oh
Yeah,
my,
I was just saying. Yeah, each cell salt's for a different system of the body, right? Iron phosphate for the blood. If you feel like you've burned up too much mental prowess, potassium phosphate, the
yeah,
highest
dude.
form of the electrical, and just the modern state of humanity, right? Just deficient in minerals, don't care. You
Yeah, on
know,
the dude, like each one is for a system or an organ or this or that. On the wheel chart, right? In that respect and everything, sure, great. But in all reality, there's only 12 of them, and there's thousands of ailments that they take care of.
yep,
So, yeah, it's always good to that the wheel chart, cool with the direction and the pie shapes going down to the body in the center of the wheel chart, pointing to different regions, areas. Um, that's it's interesting as a diagram. But I'm just saying, dude, and you know this, isn't it interesting when you start looking at, like, if you break open one of the 12 minerals and you look at all of the literature, that used to be in my app, dude, that would say everything that that one mineral was for, there would be like, holy craps, uh, you know,
yep,
hundreds.
yep, for sure. And you
Just,
do experience instant relief. That's what I noticed because it bypasses the digestion tract by being absorbed through the mucous membranes, and you
oh,
actually experience almost instant relief.
yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, even in say like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, when you use them, okay, and okay, I see what you're saying. In that respect, is okay. So like fast onset acute symptoms like colds. Oh, whoa,
Yep.
something's hitting. Okay, now I go into the acute dosages, which are like 3 every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, right, buddy? Instead of just what we would call like a maintain dose, where it's like,
Yep.
or three times a day. You just want to keep yourself topped up on them, right? But yeah, you go into like the hard mode like that, dude, and just pummel things, right? And like you say, yeah, you should be able to feel that right away. But on the other side of the coin, I was going to say that like I've, helped people that had stuff, chronic issues or 3 or 4 decades, and do some work for them and get their complete medical history and then do the chart thing for them, um, and just flat out put them on 12 in 1 like bio 12, and from never even hearing of them before and to doing all 12 2 or 3 weeks, dude, and 3 or 4 decade long ailments, them going, dude, I've
Yep.
tried everything. I've tried everything on the market all my life. I'm like, I know, man. Stay seated and just fucking breathe. But I know, I'm like, this stuff shocks me every time. Right, dude?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not a gimmick, it's a definite gem that needs to be
yeah,
given to the
people,
public, and everyone needs to be educated and understand how to manage their own symptoms.
dude, it's all out there. It's even stated, just took it to the deepest that there probably could be out there, but it's even stated in the literature that it's the easiest system there is. Anyone can learn it themselves.
Yep.
You know, to use it, there are different ways to use it, right? We were just talking about the acute onset symptoms, of stuff that just happens, colds and whatnot, or feeling sick, or headaches maybe, or sore this or that, and going on that type of the dosage, or just using them to maintain and always be supplied with them too, right? um but
Yep.
they're or even other ways to use them, dude. Putting them in if you can find or some kind of a pure pure water and put them in water, and then you've got like an actual real mineral water, right, dude?
Yep.
And paste creams, people can research that. What else you can do with tablets? Make topical pastes and creams with different oils and this and that. Check the absorbency rates of oils for how fast you want it to set in, or
Yep.
so much. It's like, where did we go wrong, planet? Well, it's I don't know. Could be something like religion.
It's a
Everything else
simple
was
remedy.
thing else was stamped out, and you're only allowed this one thing in a
Yep.
nutshell. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, but now being in, this new age of knowing, the age of awakening, the age of dawning of consciousness, we're able to have access to all this information, the age of information, and basically, if you want it, go out and get it, search for it, seek and you shall find, and you'll be able to find, how to become self-sufficient, I guess, is the main goal here.
For sure, right? Yeah, that's what I would say to people. Research everything yourself.
The
You know,
body is a temple, so you have to maintain the temple, perfect it, and then the higher consciousness will dwell in it.
you go as wide as you can, take in as much as you can, dude, and then freaking organize it all in your head. Take everything you can on one topic, put it in your head, expand it as much as you can by pondering it all, this and that, right? Don't just read it and take it in. No, you have to work on it now.
Yep,
Then you
let it
gotta
make an impression on you, a psychic impression on your subconscious mind.
then you gotta unexpand it and compress it and then try to relay it to other people. Have fun. Hey, dude. That's what it's kind of about. It's kind of like what Elon said once, right? That we'll never be able to communicate fully to each other 100% because of the way he said that. Like when you have a thought and you ponder it, you're expanding that thought and, coming at it from all different directions. And, right, dude? You become like a think tank or like a round table of multiple people, the deeper you go into thoughts and this and that, right? And he said, when we expand a thought in our own head, and the problem is that we have to take our massive expanded thought from thinking and pondering and now compress it and relay it to
Into
another
a
person.
receivable file, yeah.
It's like, okay, he said,
And I think
that's
that's
how.
another indication that, we live in a limited body. Our physical body kind of limits the soul. That's why in
But
the
the
higher realms,
brain's
data transfer is much easier. The communication process, is
communication.
much easier to impress on other people than it is here.
It's weird, dude.
Mm.
It's like if you do it yourself after you're like, okay, now you heard someone say that, what he said that the brain scientifically does. Now, when you sit down and ponder something and go deep into a thought, think of that, what he said, and you're like, oh, you think about it when you're deep into something, dude, and you're like, oh, yeah, no kidding. How am I going to say all this to someone? It just makes you laugh, dude. It's like, right, we'll never be able to talk fully to one another. We
Yeah.
do, because then I can give you my whole expanded thought, dude. And you're like, whoa, I see what he means. I don't, yeah,
Higher dimensional communication.
it's fucking weird, dude. Yeah. Hired. Yeah. Wouldn't it be? Getting right. Like, yeah. If there was something, I don't know, like if, whatever, if there was something like ESP, it'd be like, okay, dude, I just wrote this like one paragraph. Right? It would be like this. Dude, I just wrote this like one paragraph, pretty good writing on my WordPress, but I'm going to send you the ESP file,
Yeah.
which is like 300 paragraphs.
Yeah.
that was your thinking, right?
Yep.
Like, well, did I make my point with my 300 paragraphs of thought? Did I make my point in my, you know, 2 paragraphs? Okay,
Well, now
whatever.
at least that we're in the age of information, everyone's able to, take on knowledge and turn it into wisdom, right? It's like the allegory of transmuting water into wine. We have to take the water of knowledge and transmute it into the wine of wisdom so that we can live in tune and in balance and harmony. Harmony coming from the, harmony of the moon being related to the hormones. And when we balance our hormones and our and become harmonic, then we're able to play our note, our guitar, our body being like a metaphor for an instrument. We become tuned and able to express the true essence of who we are through this vessel.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Think of every person like a musician. You mean,
Yep.
right, dude? Yeah. I don't know, man. It's all pretty interesting for sure, buddy, right? Um,
The state of the world though, man,
yeah, right.
it's the time of the hermits, right? Everyone who is in the know is, pretty hermited. You have to find a way how to manage and live and balance society and at the same time maintain your composure just because of the fact that you're limited in how much you can convey to other people, right? So you have to live somewhat filtered, it seems, and a lot of cognitive dissonance and whatnot. So,
Right.
and all the knowledge is always for the few, even though it looks like there's a blow up of knowledge online, and it is age of information. The knowledge is still for the few, unfortunately, just because
Yeah, I
the
don't know
only
if
way
it's
to access it is to seek it, right?
yeah, it's all out there. That's for sure, dude. I don't know if it's a blow up of knowledge. It's definitely a blow up of information.
Yeah.
But always concerned about how much. Oops. How much does any how much knowledge does anyone have in a topic they're talking about?
Yep.
Right. That's my concern.
How dense is it?
Yeah, yeah. How deep is your knowledge in something? Because like you just said yourself, dude, like everything's out there is like, and that's what I always started talking about on the internet, dude, is like surface geniuses. Oh yeah, really? What have you read? Or where are you coming from? Like, you have all the literature ever produced on this topic? Because everything's out there, dude. It's like flipping through a book and just
It gets
memorize.
watered down. It's
Well,
diluted.
it's like flipping through a book and just memorizing the photos. Um,
Yeah, you have to go in and read. Not only, let's say you read, a good technique is for proper research would be to read from one level, then read their source, and then read their source, and then read the
yeah, but
antithesis source, the opposite source, and
no, but
then
wait.
come to your own intuitive understanding.
But then think it. Yes, right, dude. You have to think it.
Yep.
You can't just read something.
You have to think it and digest it.
Digest.
Comprehending. It has to turn into comprehension. Right.
Well, I'd say ponder, digest it or take it in, but then you have to think it or ponder it.
Yep.
Does it make sense? This, that, blah, blah,
Well, I
blah.
think you ponder it and then come to comprehension.
Sure, but like, you know what I mean, dude? Because
Yeah.
you do the same thing. Probably is a syncretist. Well, what is this the same as? Does anything lay over this? Blah blah blah, blee blee blee. Oh, this sounds like this culture. Blah, 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 blah. Right, dude. Then you start coming at it from like 360 degrees, not just like something flat on a desk,
Yeah.
one plane that you read, right? Once it goes into the brain, it's like, uh-oh, now it's 360.
Yep.
Or am I just wacko? It's all good.
Nope, you gotta see things from all the different angles, be open, just like Rudolf Steiner said on one of the 6 steps to awakening. It's just one of them being receptive and open-minded to all
Mhm.
information, and also not neither accepting nor rejecting it until you've come to your own solidified knowledge of it firsthand, right? So you can just receive all knowledge, and then just yeah. So there's a lot of truth in just being receptive. That's why they said, be an
Yep.
empty cup. Come to class
Yeah.
with an empty cup, or at least half full. Because if you just come to life with a if you just come to everything in life with a full cup, you can never receive anything from anyone else, then you'll just become a dunce.
Hmm. Yeah, and you can't, like, your knowledge shouldn't be just the books of theirs, say, that you read. Your knowledge should be from the books of, quote, theirs, whatever your topic and people are, authors
Yeah.
or what. Your knowledge should come from reading all of their material and then pondering it, not just reading it and taking it in. Like, that's just a fucking pipe. That's a drain. No, but you know what I mean, dude? Like, I don't know. Does everyone sit down and overthink everything? Or
Yeah,
no?
people don't, like I said, contemplation is like a pretty intense practice. It
That's
takes
what I mean.
concentration and focus, and a lot of the time, especially in this generation now,
Right.
with just the whole TikTok brain of just not being able to focus on something for more than 10 seconds.
Short
We live in a
attention.
world where people can't even contemplate,
Exactly. Right.
philosophical topics.
Exactly. We talk about stuff like that. Yeah, dude, that's what I say is like contemplation, right? It's like just in
It's a
thought
skill.
by yourself. It's and when I was living in BC and did that every day, dude, sitting outside in the trees, right? It was like, I'm like, this is like a hobby. This is just, you know what I mean? Like it turns into feeling like it's like and that's not even the right word, hobby, but yeah, it's some kind of an art form, maybe. Hey, contemplation.
Yeah, gaining, yeah, it's entertaining to think, and not just senseless thinking, but actual directed thinking, right?
And I've always been like that myself, and I've always done that, and I've always liked doing that. Is like, I don't know, man. Books don't really tell me if something's right or wrong or correct or wrong after well, like, I don't even read, so I don't
It
know.
just helps put you on a thought train, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, sure, dude. I'm outside. Hour and 51, Ming.
Nope, an hour and 28.
Oh, really? Mine says an hour and 51.
That's not the recording, though.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I don't see the recording stats.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Just hang out on a Sunday. Cheap. Time to hit the vape. 1 second here. I don't know, dude. Yeah, like it's like not like we're trying to talk negative or whatever, but yeah, food, water, those the medicine of today and this and that, and
The
we got
mental health of people, right?
mental state. I mean, yeah, that's a whole discussion right there. Just psychiatry and the whole that whole arena, right from its inception, right up to today. Everyone on the planet knows how much mental health is. And again, I'm not knocking it. That's the system that's in place. Okay, got it. Um, and it quote helps people in whatever way that is working. It's not
Yeah, but the
working.
foundations are shaky, right?
Yeah, it's not working in any curing way. It's just
Yeah, yeah. People aren't being cured from these mental disorders. It's like
so do
people should
just
know brain
no.
health and mental health. And I've had a lot of struggle with friends and family with mental health, and it's just like it's sad to see people deteriorate on a mental level, and then you ask yourself, look at the world we live in. Where do you look to find the protagonitor? Like
Yeah, it's all you been there. Whoops. Yes, sirree. I do vape. Yeah. Well, where do you look, dude? There, you just nailed it right there, buddy. In like ages of studies and shit, that's it right there. Where do you look? You know where you look? You inside.
yep, as within, so without.
That's so cool
Earth
that
is
you.
a realm, not a place. We're the witness, we're the 0 point, the substratum, the knower of the modality, right? We
You know
are the
what?
knower of the field.
We are the cause.
Yep.
Mental
We have to
health.
be convert the physical.
Mental health is. Mental health can come from a background like abuse and all those types of things for sure, right? It can have. Uh, it was materialized at one point, but who or what is causing it after it's stopped? Say everyone's gone through it, myself too. Say something from your childhood or whatever, but now you're in your 30s or 40s and you have what they label this or that. You know what I mean, dude? That's how it goes, right? That's just how it goes. Um, but I don't know. I've had depression for years myself, as an example. And one day I looked in the mirror and said, dude, who's doing this? Somebody out in front of me pointing at me every day, causing me to be depressed. I'm just like, it's me, right? And
Yep.
then my side went, okay, so I'm causing this so I can stop it, right? So I stopped it. And again, it's like Lipton, it's your environment, perception, right, dude?
Attitude.
Yeah. As within, so without, how it is inside of you will be outside of you. That goes both ways too. Like, holy shit. So I'm not saying, and everyone's, if maybe people might be, oh, well, dude, it's not that easy, blah, 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 or this, that. Yeah, I know. Yes, I'm not saying everyone, but I'm just saying, can we all, with my main phrase, look in, not out, please, I beg you all, can we
Yep.
all say, wait, where's a mirror? Because it's time to go look at that in the mirror again. Hey, and I only come from what I've said to myself or what I do for myself or, sort of my ways, right, dude? Oh, this is not in no books or nothing. And no, you can't find this. You can type there's some terminology in there, but it's my thoughts. Um, plus, me with, well, the whole thing about psychiatry, dude. And it's growing so worse up to the point it's at today, right? Kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are just taken to institutions where they come out worse than they went in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Apparently, we've had a long time for them to dial in the meds. See a lot of functioning people in society, dude. Don't know what their home life is like. Don't know what their home life is like, but because you're talking about brutal treatments and results to like all the institutions and asylums closing down around the world and starting in the 60s, something. Once Big Pharma was in place, dude, and they had treatments and pills for all of the patients. That's what happened in psychiatry. And then, all the mental asylums, institutions started closing down because all the grant money was being abused by the owners. There'd be like 100 people. I watched all the videos on this whole, everything I'm talking about here, every video there is. There'd be people, like 50 people laying in a room, all naked, tweaking on the floor in their own shit and piss, right? So then Big Pharma got put into place. All the grant money ceased because it was all being stolen by the rich owners, right? They all started closing down and patients kicked out onto the streets. And then they say, even today, dude, that like all the US, for example, all the US prisons were modified to accept a wave of the ex patients. So all the prisons had an extra wing built, like the bug wing. Like shit like that. But yeah, anyway, look at the DSM manual that psychiatrists use, right? The first one came out in the 40s. It had like 30 something, quote, mental ailments in it. And the DSM 5 or 6 today has over 400 now, conditions, right? Oh, I'm too tall. Oh, I'm too short. Oh, you need a pill.
Yeah, we're in the zombie apocalypse right now.
Oh, it's horrific. I have banned videos on psychiatry, dude. Like, yeah, it's horrific. There's a wave of lawsuits right now from decades ago from the prescriptions from psychiatrists, dude, and what those people are like now. Because it was like the COVID vaccine, no human trials done. It was actually the first medicine to ever not have human trials. They skipped that stage, right? So now in psychiatry, you got 50, 60 years of treatment, and how the people are like now, long term uh, results you have now, right? At this point, being at whatever, 2025. So yeah, all makes sense, but it all makes sense, but it doesn't, right, dude? Like, psychiatry invented because their motto, we will scare you into not acting like that. Ice baths, electroshock therapies, people in cages for a week, the size for dogs. Torture methods. Right, dude? Brutal. But what do you do about it now today, right? Well, turn. That's the one thing I wanted to do, dude, was take that diagnostic statistical manual of mental disorders and convert it using only the 12 minerals in biochemic healing. And because many of those, if you flip through that DSM newest version, you'll see all of those also in the remedies from the 12 minerals, right? It always won't be worded the same. That's the thing about biochemic healing and the 12 minerals, dude. It's not worded like modern medicine, like allopathic medicine, which breaks it down into all, like a skin condition. It can be like 10 variations, 12 categories, different names and creams and pills, was just like widened out like so crazily, dude. And biochemistry is like, oh, any type of skin condition, bonk, liver. Right. It's like,
Yep, super simple, right? Simplicity is the highest form of complexity, right? Like,
Huh. See, I always say, dude, man complicates to profit. Because look how wide now, like just think of skin in modern medicine, all the different stuff there is about it. Go look up skin in biochemistry. It's just like, okay, whatever, right? It's not all these names, dude, right? Like, you know what, psoriasis and eczema, two of the big ones, right, dude? Liver. When the liver is taxed, it calls upon the skin. That's the wording, right, from literature. Okay, sorry. Right, dude? Don't use words, right? That's why when you cross-reference, like, you know, if you're doing charts and medical stuff for people, you will like not take their medical history from modern medicine and just go straight into biochemistry because all those words aren't in there. You will first take their medical history and learn it all in allopathic medicine and learn what modern medicine says is going on because they have the most literature on crap.
Yep.
Words. Now you go into biochemistry and you find it and you cross reference. You know what I mean, dude? You can't
Yep.
just jump in there.
Let's do a quick battery check. Is everyone's battery good?
I'm at 12.
Cool.
I don't know. We can end this for now, dude. That's a pretty good little session of chit chatting.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. That'll
Yeah.
be episode 1, so let's do it.
Bonus hitter.
All right, let me stop recording.